This extraordinary case comes on the heels of a string of kidnapping attempts of influential crypto traders in France. At least 3 high-profile incidents this year. Kidnappings in January, and where 2 people had their finger cut off. Another in May, when a kidnapping was attempted in broad daylight that ultimately failed. Ari Redbord is the global head of policy at TRM Labs, who joins me from Washington. Are there more of these events? And if there are, what's the crypto connection, if there is?
Richard, thank you for having me on what is a really harrowing day, and this topic in particular. We're seeing there are more and more of these, and there's been a spate of them, as you explained throughout that reporting. And really, bad actors are targeting cryptocurrency investors because there's this perception, and in many cases it's true, that is where the money is. And we've seen this really disturbing convergence between cybercrime, which moves very, very quickly, and old school robberies and the use of brutal force in order to get access to cryptocurrency wallets. And we may see more and more of this as we see copycat cases over the ones that you mentioned in Paris and this really disturbing one in New York this week.
Why is this? I mean, at one level, we believe, we know that if you lose your wallet password, you're done for. But at the other side, we also know that the US Treasury announced that it's forfeited and seized tens of thousands of bitcoins. So is crypto easier, in a sense, as a kidnapping ransom demand?
It's a really great question, and that's the paradox. Crypto allows cross-border value transfer at the speed of the internet. Bad actors can move funds faster and in larger amounts than ever before. And that's why they're moving quickly in these types of cases to try to get those passwords and move the funds. But at the same time, to your point, law enforcement can use tools like TRM to track and trace those funds. And we've seen some successes. The biggest one was the Coinbase compliance team worked with FBI and law enforcement to actually trace funds and get arrests in what was the largest crypto sentencing recently, 47 years in one of these types of cases. So it absolutely can be done, but we're seeing more and more of these types of violent crime cases.
So this is worth just discussing finally at the end. So this idea that once the anonymity of the wallet holder's identity, you can do the transaction if it's gone through a legitimate marketplace or an exchange, but you're saying that there are ways in which authorities can, to use the famous line, follow the money.
That's exactly what they're doing in these cases. And it's just like in sort of old school financial crime investigations. They're tracking and tracing the flow of funds on blockchains, which are open public ledgers. Every transaction is logged and immutable. You can see it forever. And we're seeing law enforcement in these very cases, track and trace the flow of funds to make arrests. The problem is these bad actors can now move funds faster and in larger amounts using crypto. And that's the paradox. There's also this perception that crypto founders, crypto investors are sitting on large stashes of funds. These are oftentimes very public individuals who are out there speaking and on social media, and they're becoming targets for criminals. And that's what these are. They're just criminal gangs who are looking to go where the money is to steal large amounts.
Good old-fashioned thugs using a different currency, but at the end of the day, just the same as a robber with a kosh hitting somebody over there. Thank you, sir. I'm grateful to you. Very kind. Thank you.
Thank you.